Alright, first interview, Max Seitel. Now Max, I'm going to ask you a couple straightforward questions. Is that okay?
All right.
How would you describe your mental health?
Absolutely terrible.
Really?
Terrible.
Not great. But off and on, comes in waves.
In a constant state of change.
State of change?
Yeah.
So, do you want to go into more detail about that?
Yeah, it really fluctuates. It's like waves, come and go. There's points where it's kind of hard to move and I'm just stuck in my head, and then points where I can get out of my head, and then, yeah, there's a lot of dissociation involved. It's kind of a key tool.
So kind of stuck in your head, maybe a little bit scatterbrained sometimes.
Yeah.
Stuff like that.
Yeah. Volatile.
Volatile. Is there anything that you do to calm yourself down or maybe keep yourself out of your own head?
Sometimes you're in a good mood, you have good stuff going on, and then the next will just drop into periods of feeling really low, and it goes off and on. But in terms of being a high schooler and going to school, a lot of the times it's in that low area. Yeah.
Now, so you said it was typically in that lower area for you.
Yeah, typically. Yeah. I just
Can you describe that lower area for me?
The lower area, it depends. Sometimes it's I get really anxious. A lot of times, again, about school. So there's a lot of anxiety around it. There's a lot of depression with it. So a lot of, having no motivation to do stuff, having, being very sad all the time, very little energy, that sort of thing.
Mm-hmm. When you're feeling kind of anxious and, that whole down feeling, is there anything you do to distract yourself or just take yourself away from that situation?
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff people teach you, breathing exercises and, all this sort of, stuff that's supposed to affect your brain, and none of that ever really works. So for me,
Terrible. But I can definitely say that, I've held through. I'm still here.
Still here?
Yeah.
That's good.
Breathing.
Good for me, at least. Do you want to, what do you feel when, you're saying your mental health has been bad?
I've just had a lot of problems with the fact that I've been diagnosed with, a lot of mental health issues recently. And, it's just been tough to just process that with my ordinary life and the drama that comes with it, because I got a future to look ahead towards, and it's really hard when you get hit with something like that.
Definitely. While you're dealing with all this shit and dealing with these low feelings, kind of like we were talking about and everything, is there anything you do to take your mind off things?
Oh, 100% listen to music.
And then music is a huge thing.
Music in different ways can either bring me into my head a lot in kind of a comforting and dissociative way, or it could bring me out of my head and kind of get me out of kind of manic cycles or spirals about my consciousness.
That's fair.
Yeah.
And you play guitar, right? That's your main thing.
I do play a lot of guitar.
Who would have thought? So playing guitar, that's really what brings you out?
Yeah, playing guitar, it's a way to not only express a lot of emotion for me, but just to access emotion too, because sometimes I can struggle with even knowing what I'm feeling. Mm-hmm. But playing guitar, it allows me to express myself a little more naturally, where it's also a tool to kind of explore different emotions and how I'm feeling, and that happens with writing music a lot.
Awesome. Anything else you'd like to add before I cut the tape?
Music has been my number one coping skill my whole life, so music is a brilliant escape for that sort of thing.
Really? Do you want to elaborate on that at all?
Yeah, so writing music is a big escape, just putting all those emotions and all those feelings onto paper and into sound almost. It's it just gets so much off your chest.
it's more relaxing than just like throwing on music in my car and just driving somewhere. There's been times where I've been like, that's been my only escape. And like even before I had a car, like I've been playing the drums since I was like 7, I think, and like music didn't really mean anything to me before I like kind of like came into my own emotions. Like when I was a child and stuff, it was just like, oh, like I can listen to whatever's on the radio, I can listen to whatever everybody else is listening to. And then like I started getting influenced by the people around me, and I realized that their music taste represented emotions that I was starting to feel, and I realized that it let me express some of those emotions through the music. Boots, cats, and a bucket of fish. And I was like a little kid, and I was like, this doesn't make sense. And I remember I started coming up with my own rhyme to help me understand it. And I like finally got excited to learn a challenging beat on drums. And I went to school every day for like that whole semester. And I'd take 2 pencils or pens or whatever, and I'd be like, and I remember one time my teacher, like, cause I was just so zoned out doing that, picked my desk up and dropped it back down on my lap to get my attention. And I was just like, oh God. Like that's how like enthralled I was by the fact that I could make that like simple beat, you know? And like, it's just like changed from there, and it's just become a part of me. And like, really like I express myself rhythmically. And so like when I'm feeling anger, like I'll have like an angry song going through my head, stuff like that, you know?
Yeah, definitely. Well, that was awesome. Yeah. I'm gonna cut the tape with you. Anything else you'd like to say?
Yeah, maybe a little bit quickly.
What's
I
that?
think music, it's like interesting. It can be a tool to express yourself and to, yeah, get yourself out of your head and maybe out of bad cycles. But it can also kind of aid dissociation, so it's really probably depends on the person. Yeah, it probably means something different to every single person.
I like that. That's good.
Yeah.
Is that it?
Yeah, thank you.
Thanks, Max.
No matter how dark, no matter how deep of a hole you are in, there will always be a rope. It doesn't have to always be you, but sometimes it is only you. And the thing is that you're worth living. You're worth every day on this planet and every day into the future. So no matter how deep you are in that hole, just remember that you can get yourself out. And music helped me, and it might help other people. So just feel free to express yourself and tell somebody if something's going wrong. It's not your fault. It's not anybody else's fault. And what are they gonna do? Listen? Whoa.
My largest takeaway from the answers I received from my interviews is that music is nothing except for what you make of it. Music is a tool. And when you're fighting mental illness, you need to be able to use whatever tools you have at your disposal. When you're fighting mental illness, you need to be able to pull yourself up by the bootstrings and just stand up. You need to be able to take whatever tools you have, and you just need to fucking fight, you know?